My name is Charly Palmer. I'm a visual artist, I'm a dreamer, and I have been doing fine art now for 40 years of my career. The card is honoring Annie McPheeters and the hard work that she did to create these libraries in Black communities. When Victor approached me about this idea, I got really excited and I immediately asked for reference, like, is there any photographs of Miss McPheeter? Is there any photographs of the old museum? Anything and everything that I could get. And from that, I created what was kind of a collage, kind of telling the history, but honoring also key landmarks through the Atlanta area. So this card is being created to honor the 30 years of the Auburn Avenue Research Library. And so that became a very significant part of it. I was actually honored to be at the unveiling of the actual opening of it. And so I've also had one exhibit before there. To be a part of it, my wife is an archivist. She loves that library. It's a wonderful space, so I was just excited to be a part of it. The process of creating is really interesting. Every once in a while, I'll try to change it up. I always start with a canvas or a board. I always, like I talked to young artists, I said, you always want reference. I always use photographs, but what I use with the photographs is I take parts of it and interpret it whatever way I choose to. So I started doing a little bit of research. Fortunately, some material was provided for me. I'll do what are called rough concepts or thumbnails, very quick sketches, and then I'll play with those sketches. And so once I've done those on paper, I will submit those, and then the board will make a decision. I thought I was going to get in trouble because after it had been approved, I saw this one photograph of these Black children holding up these signs of all these different states in the country. And I said, wouldn't it be great if these children were holding up words of positivity, courage, strength, intelligence. And so I switched up the actual photograph that was initially approved, which were a bunch of women in the, I would say, the 1920s, and got this picture that looked like it was more like in the 50s, and incorporated that and into the piece, and that was what my final submission would look like. The involvement for me, and the involvement for almost anything that I do, is that when there's a printed item, whether it's a card or a book, then I live forever. So my legacy is that I'm now a part of this library. I'm now a part of this history. So 100 years from now, hopefully there will be at least one of those library cards somewhere on display and says Charly Palmer did that. I've lived in Atlanta longer than I lived anywhere else. I was born in Alabama, raised in Milwaukee, educated in Chicago, but I've lived here 30 years. And I feel like I am a part of it by being even part of this project. I think it's important also that, and that was part of our agreement, that there's a living piece. That living piece is the actual original piece of artwork that will be on display for the public to see at any point in the library itself. And I'm really excited about that part of it, that you will get it. If you don't get a chance to get one of these limited editions, let me emphasize that, you will also be able to still see the original. I'm a part of Atlanta. Atlanta is home for me. And so it's exciting to be a part of this project, but I am continually working on something. When I talk about my legacy, again, I talk about at least 14 children's books that I've done. And I want children to know that they are loved and that I am inspired by how they live, how they think, how they breathe, how they create, however that creativity might be expressed. And so if you were ever interested, you could look up Charly Palmer, C-H-A-R-L-Y, and you'll see that that's a consistent part of my work. Keep an eye out for some of the great children's book projects that I'm wrapping up this year and the beginning of next year. I really want to thank the Fulton County Library Association for allowing me to be a part of this experience. And I really do feel that, because it could have been any artist, but to be a part of this, I am truly pleased and I feel blessed. And so I hope you all will continue to enjoy all the libraries that are part of the system, but also enjoy what I've done for this particular project.